We are live. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Hollywood Purgatory podcast, where the entertainment industry comes to get judged by me, Jeffrey Harris, 411 Mania. On the other end of the line, in No Cal, we have Jay Snook of the Good Men Project. Hey, Jay, how are you doing today?
Hey there, how's it going?
Hope you're all having a good Monday, where Monday doesn't have to be a Monday or a
Mm-hmm.
mundane Monday.
True.
How do you like that?
Not too
Sorry,
bad.
that's bad wordplay. I'm
Mm.
sorry. So there's been a lot of TV news in the last week. We found out like what shows are getting the axe and
Mhm.
what are going to continue for the major networks. Some big surprises. We'll be getting into that today.
Mhm.
We are less than 2 weeks out from the release of Solo, a Star Wars story. They had the world premiere in Los Angeles last week, which was pretty impressive. There's some pictures that were popping up, like they were on Hollywood Boulevard. You've been over on Hollywood Boulevard in the Walk of Fame, right, Jay?
Yes, I have.
Kind of by the Chinese theater or the TCL theater. They had like a replica Millennium Falcon like
Mhm.
built on this like elaborate red carpet. It's pretty
Mhm.
exciting. What's your excitement level right now for Solo: A Star Wars Story?
Well, I have to say that so far since I've heard, that it's actually pretty good, my excitement's a bit higher now because I'm like, hey, if people are saying it's good, then it probably is actually good. So that's,
Right,
so I'm
because
looking
people
more forward
we
to it
know
than I was
people
before.
we know people have seen the movie because they had the premiere and some film critics actually got to see it already who
Hmm.
were at the premiere. So and the reactions, the buzz so far seems to be pretty decent. Not like great, but decent.
Hmm.
Would you
Yeah,
agree?
I do. I agree.
Would you say you're more excited about this film than The Last Jedi or Rogue One?
It sounds like it's gonna be on the same level as Rogue One, which if that's
Okay.
true, then I'm looking forward to it.
Did you like Rogue One,
I
by the
did
way?
quite a lot, actually. I did. I enjoyed it.
Okay. We still don't know what other than episode 9, we don't really know officially what the next Star Wars movie is going to be. So,
Hmm.
hopefully we did learn I think we talked about a little bit Star Wars Resistance, which will be the new animated series
Hmm.
coming out this fall, and we learned a little bit more at the world premiere about the new live action Star Wars series that's supposed to start next year with the Disney streaming service. This
Yeah,
is
I'm
the one,
excited with
yeah.
these because both of these they're saying are going to take place after Jedi and before Force Awakens. They're pretty much like we kind of assumed they're going to do that 30-year window, and I'm actually really excited for that because there's a lot of material to work there.
Well, the Nerdist had the scoop because they talked to John Favreau
Hmm.
at the premiere of Solo: A Star Wars Story. John Favreau, he plays a character in Solo, but
Hmm.
he's also the executive producer,
Hmm.
one of the creators of the new show. Um, so this is from Nerdist News. Nerdist senior editor Dan Casey talked to director John Favreau and got the early scoop on his upcoming Star Wars live action TV series.
Hmm.
Um, I'm just trying to get to the nitty gritty of this.
Hmm. Hmm.
Let's see. Favreau told us when the series takes place within the Star Wars timeline, it's going to be set 7 years after the Battle of Yavin, which was depicted in A New Hope. That would place it around 3 years after Return of the Jedi, which is also after the Battle of Jakku,
Hmm.
which officially ended the war with the Empire. Okay, so now we know the approximate time period
Hmm.
for this show. It's going to be about 3 years after the end of Return of the Jedi. So it's
Hmm.
peacetime. It's the New Republic. The Empire is gone for now. So it's in that kind of. It's in the early section of that 30 years
Hmm.
between the original trilogy and the new trilogy. So what do you think that they've? At least we know the time period now. Do you think they made a good choice with this time period?
Yeah, they did because again, there's not only so much space to play on there and so much unknown there, but there's very little chance to back themselves in the corner too. Which I know that Star Wars Lego The Freemaker Adventures backed itself into a corner, and even
That's a Lego cartoon, though. you know?
But it did though, and then Rebels sort of did too. Rebels got to a point where like they had a smaller window to play with, and it was good. But
Right.
they eventually backed themselves to corner two, where they had to kind of end it
I
the way
don't
they
think
did.
they backed themselves into a corner. I think they knew they had that limited 5 years. They had 5 years before the first movie. So
Mm-hmm.
that was time, that was the only time frame they could work in. Here's what else we learned about the show from Nerdist. Favreau has a huge playground to explore, and we're bound to get a new cast of characters
Mm-hmm.
to follow when the series premieres. So the show is supposed to have a new cast of characters. So even though, so here's, the issue is that even though it's set um 3 years after Return of the Jedi, when all the original characters would still be sort of young, we
Mm-hmm.
probably aren't going to see them. If we do see them, it would probably only be in, like, I imagine they would have only very small roles, and we would only kind of like see them off to the side,
Kind
and
of
they
like in Rebels,
not like Rebels. I imagine they would use like body doubles for some of them.
because in Rebels we saw Lando, we saw Leia. Who else did we see?
Yeah, but Rebels is animated.
True.
So you don't have to worry about how old or young they are. Like
Mm-hmm.
Billy, even though Billy D. Williams is almost, like, I think 80 years old now, he can still voice Lando in a cartoon. And James Earl Jones, who is in his 80s, can still voice Darth Vader. But Darth Vader only was ever the James Earl Jones was only ever the voice for Darth Vader. But it's going to be a new cast of characters. Are you generally okay with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay. This is really interesting though, because like everyone's getting in like the subscription
Mm-hmm.
streaming thing,
Mm-hmm.
and like, because DC's going to be doing one with original content, Disney's going to be doing one with original content.
Warner Brothers has one. We'll see. Yeah, Warner Brothers does have one.
CBS is doing it now with
Yeah,
Discovery.
yeah.
YouTube is doing it with YouTube Red. It's a lot, It's
Mm-hmm.
like, and I feel like, Jay, whoever can figure out getting like a package deal with all these streaming subscription services is going to be like a gazillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has to make like a streaming package, like with cable or satellite TV channels, but with streaming content. What do you think about that?
I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. Could be interesting.
Um, I don't know, something like with Movie Pass, but with streaming, like all the like, here's like a package. You can get Netflix, Amazon Prime,
Mm-hmm.
the Disney, DC Entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
all of that together. Just
Well, aren't
because,
there a few like what do they call like those like sticks that are kind of like that already? Or am I wrong?
who is that? What?
Because they had like a Fire Stick and there's another one too that's like a USB that you plug into a TV or a
Yeah,
laptop.
yeah, but I think you still have to. I think you can do things like Fire Stick, but I think you still have to have your own subscriptions for all those services. I don't think it's like an all-in-one type
Maybe
of thing.
Disney does something like that with theirs. Who knows?
I mean, that it sounds like it would be very complicated, because we already have the issues with Netflix and Disney, where I think they're going to be taking some of their movies off of Netflix in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
except the existing shows, the Marvel Netflix shows. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll be getting more into TV lately. I personally am very much looking forward to Solo. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not completely sold on Alden Ehrenreich though.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think he looks so far as Han Solo?
I think he looks all right, and he seems not bad actually. I like that. We saw that new clip in one of the trailers where he finds out how old Chewie is, and that was kind of a cool scene. I thought.
That was a funny joke, I'll admit. And we know Amelia Clark's in it as his love interest.
Mm-hmm.
Are you interested in seeing her? Because you're a huge Game of Thrones
I'm
fan.
more interested in Woody Harrelson and what he's going to do because I really like him. I think he's a great actor.
Woody Harrelson is a great actor. He's playing like his mentor character.
Yeah.
The droid character looks like, or I guess she will be a lot of fun. And Donald Glover as
Mm-hmm.
Lando.
True.
He looks like he'll definitely be a highlight of the film.
I think so.
Um, so there's heavy, now these are all unconfirmed, but the heavy rumors is that the next Star Wars movie will be like an Obi-Wan Kenobi prequel. What do you think about that? Obi-Wan Kenobi with Ewan McGregor returning to play the character.
Oh yeah. I've heard of that. I think that yeah, I think they had rumored it was gonna be 2020, I thought, or something like that.
Possibly.
And when I heard this news, I wasn't really blown away because he's been saying he'll do this for a minute. This is not brand new news.
No.
It's kind of like when Mark Wahlberg said he won't do the joke ever again unless they do the Killing Joke. So we knew eventually they were probably going to do a Killing Joke in mid movie because Mark Hamill said he'd gladly do it. Yeah, because I think Ewan McGregor's been talking about doing a standalone.
Yeah, but Mark Hamill's done the Joker a lot more times since then.
I know, but what I mean is it's similar in the fact that because Ewan McGregor's been talking about doing this movie for I want to say a couple of years at least, maybe longer.
Yeah. We still have, I think we still haven't had it confirmed by Lucasfilm yet, but at least we know more. At least we know more about this TV series, and I'm glad it's set after Return of the Jedi. Just because
didn't they do a similar thing with Resistance too? Didn't they say that was like they did that timeline for that too? Didn't they?
That will be set before The Force Awakens. So
yeah, in that same 30-year timeline, right?
Yeah, but much later. So if this one's 3 years after Return of the Jedi, then that means Resistance will probably be like 25 years, I would imagine.
It could be. I just kind of like hearing that they're both going to be in that window because there is a lot.
That's a big window, though.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. I like the big window. But you don't have to worry about, what are they going to do? They got plenty to work with.
So, basically, we've seen everything we can from Revenge of the Sith to New Hope, other than I guess we are going to see some more movies, but I kind of want to see that period after Return of the Jedi now for films. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to see a bounty hunter film like with Boba Fett and some other bounty hunters set in.
It'd be hard to do Boba Fett now, because the guy who voiced him is dead.
No, he's not.
Yeah, the guy who voiced Boba Fett, yes, he is.
Yeah, but they used Tamara Morrison's voice in the updated version. So that doesn't matter.
The original one, he was dead.
Yeah, they would just get someone else to do it. They would probably get Tamara Morrison or someone who sounds like that, because that's the version they're going with now. That guy, the original voice actor for Boba Fett, they haven't used his voice in forever. All right. So moving on from that, did you watch Cobra Kai at all? This show's been getting a lot of buzz.
I haven't had a chance to yet, but I have watched the trailers. It looks interesting, to say the least, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
This is crazy. Were you ever interested in YouTube Red at all before this show came out?
No, I was not.
This show is getting amazing reviews. You can watch the first 2 episodes for free on regular YouTube, and then you would have to subscribe to YouTube Red to watch episodes 3 through 10. And it's already been picked up for a second season. So let's see. YouTube Red has ordered a second season of Cobra Kai to the 10-episode season. So basically, right after this show debuted, they already announced the second season, and it's getting a ton of buzz. Were you surprised by all the positive hype and buzz this show's been getting?
Not really, because I will say this: when I saw the trailer, I was like, I had a hunch it was going to be good, and it looks like they'd actually put some work into it, so they didn't really try to just rush it, which was the way to go. And so I wasn't too surprised when it got all the positive buzz, because it seemed good from the trailers, like where Daniel Russo has a car lot, and William Zabka isn't really much anything, and he's kind of still living with the shadow of, hey, yeah, Daniel Russo beat you that one time, and and their rivalry clearly isn't over. So yes, I'm not surprised it got picked up.
Do you remember the original Karate Kid film?
Yes, I do.
So basically, this is set up with the premise: it's over 30 years later. Johnny Lawrence, William Zabka plays Johnny Lawrence again. He's sort of never been able to live down the shame of what happened to him at the end of Karate Kid. His life has sort of fallen into disarray. But then you have Danny LaRusso, and Ralph Macchio is back as Danny LaRusso. Like his life, he's a successful businessman, but his life isn't going great either. So it's sort of interesting in that respect. So I would recommend you at least check out the first 2 episodes and see what you think. So it looks like there will already be another season of 10 30-minute episodes. That'll probably be out on YouTube Red later next year. So just the amount of I mean this show has pretty much made YouTube Red relevant overnight. Like yesterday YouTube Red was irrelevant, and now YouTube Red is a competitor. Does that seem interesting to you at all, Jay?
What about YouTube Red now?
Now, I mean, this show makes YouTube Red a big competitor with the other streaming outfits.
Yeah, I could see that happening. All they need to do now to keep it going is just get more, because I think this is the first exclusive content they did, right? Am I right?
It's not the first, but it's like the first. It's the first really. It's basically like they have their own Stranger Things now. It's this show, basically. They had their other exclusive content before that. It was nothing like. Do you know PewDiePie on YouTube?
Yes.
They had a PewDiePie show that got canceled after he spattered off some racial slurs. They had like some documentary stuff, and I think they had some paid versions of other YouTube bloggers, but nothing like an actual scripted original TV show like this. So this is something decidedly different. But now they're pretty much a relevant outfit. Okay. So moving on from that, we have Black Panther coming out on Blu-ray yet. Have you checked out the Blu-ray?
I did, and there were some amazing special features in there. I actually really liked the one where it was the from page to screen with like the writers of the original creator, one of the original creators, the writers, the director, the writer of the movie. I mean, I think that was my favorite special feature on there because it really took my breath away and just I loved it from start to finish.
Marvel generally does a good job with the Blu-ray releases.
They do. Really good their special features.
Would you agree?
I do. I totally agree.
Okay. So before we dive into all the big TV news, so how did you like the finale of The Big Bang Theory?
I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, it was really cool how they worked Mark Hamill in there, where Wolowitz finds his dog, because originally Will Wheaton was going to be the person who talked about the who officiated the wedding, and then like Mark Hamill ends up doing it, and he does an amazing job. And Kathy Bates is great as her mom, and I think it's Penn is great, or is it Teller? Which is the one that doesn't talk? Penn?
Yeah. Teller. It's Teller.
Okay, well, Teller is great as her dad, and I thought it was actually really satisfying, really well done. Season finale. I thought they did a great job with it. I really enjoyed watching it, and it was just really well done.
Teller is Raymond. His real name is Raymond Joseph Teller. Mm-hmm. It's Penn Jillette and Raymond Joseph Teller.
Yeah, so they did a great job with the whole thing, and Dane Cook was good as his brother. They did a good job with the finale in general. I really enjoyed it.
So Sheldon and Amy are married now.
Yep, they sure are.
Could you have ever imagined when this show first came on? I want to say in 2007.
No,
Sheldon would get married to a lady.
No, not in a million years. And his mom actually says that.
Perfect for him.
Then his mom actually says that, and it's like, yeah, you're like, yeah, totally didn't see that one coming at a time. Yeah, absolutely. I actually want to spend a little bit of time next talking about Bill and Ted 3 because it's been getting an insane buzz online.
Hold on, we're not on Bill and Ted yet. So what was your favorite part about the Amy and Sheldon wedding?
Just every part with Mark Hamill, where Mark Hamill's officiating it, and then they do their own vows. She does her vows. Yeah, she gets a little verklempt. That was really funny. I thought that was a great.
What are you doing speaking Yiddish here? You're not Jewish.
It was just funny because
did Howard say verklempt? Why are you saying verklempt?
It's a good word, and it's true. Okay. He got emotional. Okay. He was like that was more emotional, beautiful than I thought it was going to be.
Right. Just giving you a hard time. All right, so here we go. It is official. Bill and Ted are coming back.
Yeah, and it's called Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Bill and Ted Face. This will be the third Bill and Ted movie. Mm-hmm. It was officially announced last week.
Yeah.
And the big news is that both Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter will be back as Ted Theodore Logan. And what's Bill's name?
Bill Theodore Esquire, wasn't that what it was?
No,
Ted Theodore Esquire, maybe.
Ted Theodore Logan is Ted.
All right, so Bill Preston Esquire, maybe.
There you go, Bill Preston
Yeah.
Esquire.
I don't know. So let me ask you this. I have to ask you this. I know some people who are insanely excited about this. What are your thoughts on this? Is this a good idea or a bad idea?
I am not excited in the least.
Me neither.
Look, 1991, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Do you remember that film?
I do.
Did you like that film?
I actually did, yes.
Okay. I mean, I like Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey to me is not a good movie. Why do we need a third Bill and Ted movie, Jay?
I don't know. And, I'm not too excited because they've actually kind of released an idea of the plot. It doesn't sound like that good of a plot to me.
So here's what we know from what was announced about the film. Original creators Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon have written the script. The director of Galaxy Quest, Dean Parisot, is directing it. Scott Krupp will produce with Alex Lebovici and Steve Ponce of Hammerstone Studios. Steven Soderbergh, that's a weird name to be. That's a weird name. You know Steven Soderbergh, the director of Traffic.
Mm-hmm.
He's executive producing. Reeves and Winter stated, "We couldn't be more excited to get the whole band back together. Mm-hmm. Chris and Ed wrote an amazing script, and with Dean at the helm, we've got a dream team." Mm-hmm. In the new film, middle age and the responsibilities of family have caught up with these two best friends who have not yet fulfilled their destiny to write the greatest song ever written. With the fabric of time and space tearing around them, a visitor from the future warns that only their song can save life as we know it, forcing Bill and Ted to set out on a time travel adventure to seek the song. Oh my God.
And it's supposedly where they only have 24 hours left, I've heard too, and then supposedly they go back to the future to steal it from themselves, supposedly. That sounds
why does Keanu Reeves want to do this? I mean,
what I don't understand, you know what this movie reminds me of? It sounds a lot like Dumb and Dumber 2, where everything that was there it sounded like it'd be good, but Dumb and Dumber 2
was horrible.
I didn't hate it, but here's the thing. Dumb and Dumber 2 was a movie you'd only like if you liked the first one. And again, they waited too long to do it, and it didn't really need to be made. And what bothers me the most about this movie here is after How 2 ended, you don't really need to do a 3 at all. You just don't.
You didn't. I mean, I would have wanted to see Dumb and Dumber 2 like 20 years ago, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they made a Bill and Ted 2. Mm-hmm. It didn't set the world on fire. Keanu Reeves is 53. Mm-hmm. And how old is Ted Winters?
You mean Alex Winter?
Or Alex Winter, excuse me. Who plays Bill? He's 50. So they're 52 and 53.
And remember with Dumb and Dumber 2, they had everything right. They had Jeff Daniels, they had Jim Carrey, they had the Farley brothers writing and directing, and yet it just wasn't as good of a movie as everyone thought it was going to be. Nor did it do anywhere near as good as they hoped it would do. And it sounds like this movie has all that stuff going for it too, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a good movie.
Here's my thing about the Farrelly brothers. I don't think they've made a really good, funny movie in a long time, Jay. I can't really remember. I think Me, Myself, and Irene or Something About Mary, I think were their last decent comedies.
I thought the Three Stooges movie was pretty funny.
Which one?
The Three Stooges movie they did?
Don't even.
I thought it was funny. Hey.
No. So you don't think this movie is a good idea?
No, I don't.
And why is that?
It's just first of all, they waited so long to do it. The plot sounds really terrible. And I think with doing it without George Carlin, who was one of the great staples of both of them, is a bad idea in general. And it's just, I don't know. It's one of those movies where they're all excited for it, and fans are like, "Oh yay!" But it's gonna probably bomb hard.
Like,
it doesn't need to be made at all.
Do you like Wayne's World? like I like Wayne's
I
World,
did.
but
Yeah, I
like,
did.
would you really want to see a new? To me, this is like doing a Wayne's World 3. Do you really want to see Wayne's World right now with Mike Myers and Dana Carvey?
To be honest, I would actually rather see a Wayne's World 3 than this.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because that, if that was done right enough and Lorne Michaels stayed away from it, actually might be good.
But I'm not that interested in seeing a Bill and Ted movie without George Carlin either.
And it's not just that; it just sounds like a really like. Wait a minute, so they're going to go into the future and steal the song from themselves? What? That's a terrible idea.
What is that the?
There's
How would
two.
that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird.
Time. I don't like time. I don't like time travel, man. It's always
Well,
crazy.
traveling to the past made sense. They're trying to save their history report, but traveling to the future, that's ridiculous.
Okay.
You know.
Well, so moving on. So we're getting a new Bill and Ted movie. They're in pre-production, and it looks like all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted. The movie's happening. They've been talking about it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna do it. So, what did you think when you heard that Brooklyn Nine-Nine got canceled?
I didn't really care, to be honest. I never watched it.
Well, what do you think now that Brooklyn Nine-Nine was canceled and then renewed in 31 hours?
That was kind of interesting how quick that happened.
Like the show got canceled by it was on Fox, got canceled by Fox, and then it got saved at the in just over 24 hours by NBC. So that's all. I mean, that's it's sort of a weird climate with TV where something like that can happen now. Something like that happening like 10 or 15 years ago was like you could never imagine it.
Yeah, that's true.
And now not only are we seeing shows get rescued, but we're seeing old shows like Roseanne or like Full House or whatever. They're getting.
They're actually saying that The Last Man Standing might be getting picked up by.
Oh, it's already. It's I mean, you kind of jumped the gun there because I was about to talk about that next. The Last Man Standing has already been rescued.
Yeah, what station rescued? I can't remember.
It got rescued by Fox.
Oh, that's
So
right.
ABC canceled it. It was one of ABC's top rated comedies, and now it's going to be and now Fox is bringing back Last Man Standing, which was gone, and I imagine. And you want to know why I believe that they're bringing back Last Man Standing, Jay, on Fox?
Why?
Because of Roseanne.
That's what they've been saying, that Roseanne helped with it.
Because it's kind of that, middle America kind of middle class family kind of voice that I guess we don't see very much on TV these days. Do you think that do you think that's going to help the show the way it's helped Roseanne in its return?
I think so, because I've read a few times that they've said that like a Roseanne might help Last Man Standing get picked up, or it helped it get picked up.
Yeah. Fox announced its whole so now we're in the period where all the networks have sort of confirmed all their new shows and returning shows for next season, and I wanted to see the whole.
Yeah, I'm on Esquire and I see the list of all the renewed and canceled and then new shows and all that stuff.
One show that got canceled was Lucifer.
Yeah.
Were you surprised about Lucifer getting canceled?
Not really. I tried to watch that show. I just couldn't get into it. I mean, it had not a bad concept. I just couldn't really get into the show that strong, to be honest. I just couldn't. So I wasn't too blown away. It had a good run, too. It had like 3-4 seasons. I mean, so I wasn't too blown away by that one, honestly. The ones that blew me away were actually Deception and Alex Inc. I didn't see those getting canceled. I mean, those ones kind of surprised me. I didn't see those shows going away.
So Lucifer was canceled after 3 seasons.
Okay, well, it still had not a bad run.
This is interesting. Lethal. Have you ever watched a Lethal Weapon TV series?
No, but I've heard of it, and you can say what you're going to say, but I know what you're going to say. But yeah, that's interesting.
So Lethal Weapon got renewed for a 4th season, but they fired the actor for Martin Riggs. Martin Riggs, played by Mel Gibson in the original film. So now the show is coming back. The actor who played Riggs in the show, I believe his name is Klain Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
He's who's going to be playing the Riggs character now?
Yeah, Sean William Scott, I heard.
Stifler from
American Pie.
From American Pie. I don't know the whole story there. I don't know if he's okay. Here's the story on Deadline. To replace series renewed for it's not even in its third season.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. Tap to star opposite Damon Wayans on Fox's Lethal Weapon. He replaces original co-lead Clayne Crawford, whose option for next season will not be picked up by Warner Brothers TV over on-set behavior issues.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about that story. That was a weird story.
You know, it's really weird. I just heard this another weird story. So I guess they're bringing Murphy Brown back now.
I heard about that's kind of old news. I heard about that months ago.
I must have missed it, but that's kind of weird. But
in his first series role, Scott will play a new character who will be partnered with Wayne's Murtaugh. Laid the groundwork for Crawford's exit with a cliffhanger in which Crawford's Riggs, already planning to move back to Texas with Molly and her son, was shot in the chest. There is chatter that Scott could play Riggs's brother. That would be weird.
Now let me go over the list real quick. Just some ABC shows that I was surprised got canceled.
Yeah, go ahead.
So they did finally officially announce, and I think this was one of the worst shows I've seen this year, was Marvel's Inhumans. That officially finally got canceled.
I heard that.
And that wasn't a shock because I would have been more shocked if somebody got a second season. So I don't think anybody liked that show. I don't think anybody did. I don't think I've heard one person say that show's amazing.
It's probably the worst Marvel show ever.
Yeah, and Kevin Probably Saves the World didn't shock me because I couldn't get in that show either. The Crossing
that show was struggling. That show was struggling since from the beginning.
And The Crossing didn't shock me because I did watch the pilot. It wasn't a bad concept, but I think it was just too out there and too weird. If you're not familiar with that show, it was basically like people blast here somehow from like a war 100 years in the future against some alien species. Had Steve Zahn.
Oh.
It wasn't
here's the one that surprised me from ABC, Quantico.
That one actually didn't surprise me because I've been watching that show since the beginning and having a shorter third season. And so far, what I've seen of it, it's all right, but it's not blowing my mind. And season 2 was kind of bumpy too. So
I never liked Quantico, but it just seems like the type of show that networks love to keep on the air forever.
Yeah, and 10 Days in the Valley didn't shock me because that show was just weird. Ugh, weird show.
Designated Survivor, not surprised there.
That one surprised me a little bit because I liked season 1 of that a lot. And I haven't watched much of season 2, but I was a little surprised by that. And like I said, Alex Inc. kind of surprised me. Deception kind of surprised me because I like Deception a lot, and Alex Inc. had potential.
Let's see. Deception.
Once Upon a Time.
I never watched those. Let's see what else. Which one was Alex Inc.?
That was the podcast show.
Oh, that was you were really high on that one, weren't you?
Yeah, that one in Deception I really liked.
So you must be. Are you really brokenhearted right now over Alex Inc.?
I'm actually more brokenhearted over Deception because that show I actually liked a lot more than Alex Inc. Alex Inc. is good, but Deception was just a really cool show that had a great concept. It was really fun. The episodes I've seen, and then The Mayor didn't shock me because that was another show. It was a good concept, but I kind of lost interest.
All right, so here's NBC, The Brave. I'm a little upset about The Brave, I have to say. Did you watch any of this series?
Can't say I did, but I remember
this was
hearing
sort of like
it.
a Delta Force military team that goes on sort of like operations over the world, across the world. It wasn't a great show, but I thought it was sort of a fun sort of like action adventure show. Great news. I never watched this one, Rise and The Taken, based on the Liam Neeson movies.
I'm kind of surprised Will and Grace got picked up for another season. I don't like that too much. I've watched a bit, but it's not that great.
Will and Grace was huge when it was on. So in the current climate where we're seeing all these revivals, Jay, that one doesn't surprise me. Taken doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, MacGyver got a second season, which is kind of nice.
Wait, so hold on. So that's NBC. So The Brave, great news, Rise and Taken. So let's go down the list for CBS.
I'm glad Kevin Kenway got canceled. That should look stupid. Ugh.
That was the Kevin James. Yeah, I'm not surprised there.
Now, they did announce just recently that Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is getting to season 6. It's a shorter 13-episode season, but they are doing that. That got announced very recently, which I'm glad about.
Hold on, though.
Okay.
Scorpion got canceled. What about that?
I'm not familiar with that
That
show.
was Robert Patrick.
Yeah, I never watched it.
So that one had 93 episodes and 4 seasons. So they
Yeah.
canceled it just short of like Superior Donuts, Wisdom of a Crowd, Living Biblically, and 9JKL for CBS.
X-Files was kind of interesting, but I guess I heard that one wasn't that good, so I guess it didn't blow my mind a lot. But
Okay.
I heard that wasn't a bad show.
Here's what else got canceled for Fox. Let me know what you think. The Exorcist.
Yeah, never watched it.
The Last Man on Earth.
Never watched it.
The Mick. And So another revival. So I guess they could have done more X-Files, but they're not going to for right
Ghosted
now.
doesn't surprise me because that show looked really bad too. I remember watching like the trailer for it. I'm like, this show just looks really, really weird.
So here's what got renewed. Let's go over what got renewed for ABC. You'll be happy to know that Blackish got renewed.
I don't really care.
Don't you like Blackish?
No, I like Grownish.
Okay.
Which that got renewed too, but that's
American Housewife.
Which is kind of weird. I hate that show.
Child Support, For the People, Fresh Off the Boat, The Goldbergs, The Good Doctor, Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, Modern Family, Roseanne. Well, Roseanne got renewed a while ago.
And actually, the Goldbergs, they told us last season it got renewed for 2 more seasons. That one didn't surprise me too much.
Right. So some of these we might have already known about. Splitting Up Together in Station 19.
I'm kind of surprised by Splitting Up Together. That show looks really weird. I got screeners for it, but it just sounds like such a weird concept. And like, I'm surprised it got picked up for a second season.
Okay, so here we go for NBC.
I'm the same way for American Housewife. That show looks terrible.
AP Bio, The Blacklist, Blind Spot. Of course, they're getting Brooklyn Nine-Nine. All the Chicago shows. Chicago Fire, Med, and PD.
I've heard The Blind Spot isn't bad. Have you watched that one?
I've watched a little bit of it. I'm not a fan.
Okay.
The Good Place, Law and Order, SVU, Marlin, Midnight Texas, Superstore. This Is Us, of course, Trial and Error. And Will and Grace, which is yep.
Wait, Marlon got picked up? That show looked weird too. I'm surprised it got picked up. Oof.
CBS, right. So of course The Big Bang Theory, Blue Bloods. Wow, Blue Bloods has done pretty well for itself.
I was actually kind of surprised by MacGyver. I liked season 1, but I heard.
Oh my God, Hawaii Five-0. Hawaii Five-0 got renewed.
That's kind of interesting.
Oh man, how?
Now, did MacGyver get renewed for a 2nd season or a 3rd season?
I think it's 3rd. I want to say.
Really? I liked the 1st season. I got a review copy of the 1st season. It was good. But I heard the 2nd season was being kind of bumpy, so I guess that's kind of interesting.
So yeah, this will be MacGyver's 3rd season. Elementary got renewed for a 7th season. What do you think about that?
That's interesting. Who's in Elementary again?
Elementary is Sherlock Holmes. So you have Johnny Lee Miller as Sherlock Holmes and Lucy Liu as Joan Watson.
I haven't watched that one. There's been like a couple, but I'm kind of surprised Young Sheldon got picked up because I didn't really like that show. I tried to get into it.
Yeah, Young Sheldon got renewed.
I didn't care. It didn't grab me. I watched like the first episode or 2 and I was like, I don't really care.
SWAT got renewed and SEAL Team got renewed.
Yeah.
The 3 NC oh man, the 3 NCIS shows are all coming back. Mom got renewed. And Life in Pieces. Okay,
Mom
so
looked kind of weird. How many seasons has Mom had now? But that's Anna Faris, right?
Yeah, that's the Anna Faris. Mom's been on for 5 seasons.
Wow.
So this will be its sixth season. Okay, so Fox, 911, Bob's Burgers, Empire, Family Guy, The Gifted. So the X-Men show, The Gifted, Gotham, of course. Man, I can't believe I'm not a big fan of Gotham. Last Man.
They did announce with Gotham though that the 5th season is its last. They did announce that.
We knew about Orville already, yeah. Right? The Resident, The Simpsons.
I need to watch The Gifted. I've heard good things about it, but I haven't had a chance to watch it.
Do you just think Family Guy and The Simpsons are just going to be on forever?
Simpsons, absolutely. Family Guy, I don't know, but Simpsons will probably be on forever. I'll be shocked when that show gets canceled because that's like his baby. I mean, he'll let Futurama get canceled, but Simpsons,
Okay, and lastly, for the CW, the 100, Arrow, Black Lightning, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Legends of Tomorrow, Dynasty, The Flash, iZombie, Jane the Virgin, Supergirl, Supernatural. I
wonder if I should watch Riverdale. I haven't watched it, but I've heard it's
think
good.
CW, out of all the networks on our list here, Jay, CW had the least amount of cancellations.
Well, they had announced pretty much that, and I think the same guy does all those shows. They had announced that, yeah, like Arrow and The Flash and Supergirl, Legend of Tomorrow, and Black Lightning were all getting renewed, like, a couple of weeks ago.
If you want to be a successful show, you want to be on the CW right now, basically.
Yeah, you do. Now, what's interesting is, and I'm kind of intrigued to hear this, I think it was NBC that said they're doing a new version of America's Got Talent, The Champions. That actually sounds kind of interesting. I don't know if that's going to be this season or another season, but that actually sounds interesting to me.
Do you like those competition shows?
Well, America's Got Talent usually doesn't grip me, but last season I watched a lot of the performances on YouTube, and they were really amazing. There was a lot of really good people last year. So seeing one of all the champions, that either people have won or have gotten in the finals, I'd love to see them again because they're also talented.
America's Got Talent.
Yeah, the champions.
Deadline. It doesn't.
I don't know if that's May or the next season, but that sounds like
September. No, wait.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the. Also, American Ninja Warrior. I like that show.
I've watched a bit of that show, but I think it's just so crazy because almost no one ever gets through it.
That's what's great about it.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're really upset is going away?
I would just say I was really bummed and upset about Deception because I really liked that show, and I'm kind of surprised it got the axe. I think that was the only one because even the middle, like it had a very long run of 9 seasons, and the episodes I've seen, I like, but it's had a good run, so it's not surprising. And even Once Upon a Time, same thing. It's had a good run, so I'm not really heard about those shows.
Modern Family, how long can you keep that show on anyway?
That
show's been on forever.
I don't know. I think that's one of their big shows now, but yeah.
Yeah.
Deception, I think, is the only one I was really kind of blown away by. I'm a little bummed that Gotham's next season is going to be its last, but
I'm not bummed at all about that.
But it's had an okay run for the fact of, and I have a hunch that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. next season will probably be its last. But again, that show's had an okay run too, so I'm not going to be too heartbroken if that happens. Because
it's getting it's lucky to be getting a 6th season.
Well, it's a half season, just like with Quantico. It's only an 8-episode season for the 3rd season. So when they announced that canceled, I was like, I kind of saw that coming because, like I said, season 2 was a little bumpy, and and then this season so far, what I've seen has been okay, but not as good as season 1 or 2.
Person of Interest got only like a half season in season 5.
Yeah.
But at least they were able to give a proper ending to the show. All right. So is there anything you're really happy is coming back?
I do have to say, even though I knew it was going to happen a while ago, the Orville, I can't wait for season 2 of that because I like that better than Discovery, to be honest. Discovery I couldn't get into, but that
I agree. I'm right with you there.
Doesn't like that
the Orville, because the Orville actually feels like Star Trek more than Discovery, don't you agree?
Yeah, it absolutely does. I agree.
And if you ever have time, I'd recommend like just watching the original series on Netflix if you ever have time. Like the visuals may not hold up, but I think the writing and the stories still hold up very well. And some other news I wanted to just address really quickly. The original, or not, I guess not the original, but Superman's Margot Kidder, who portrayed Lois Lane in Superman in the original live-action Superman films, has passed away. Margot Kidder, she was 69 years old. Had a history of struggling with mental illness. She died yesterday, May 13th. Cause of death not revealed. I mean, she was the original Lois Lane on the big screen, and I mean, those films are important films. Any thoughts for you on the late Margot Kidder?
It's kind of a bummer that she is gone, but I don't know. I mean, 69 isn't a terrible age to go. Yeah, she could have gone longer, but At least she's got something to be remembered by. So I guess I'm not too bummed by it, to be honest.
I mean, I'm not. That's a bit weird way to put it. But I just want to say my thoughts and prayers go out to friends and family of Margot Kidder, and I mean, I mean, that's one thing you won't ever forget that she was sort of the original Lois Lane.
That's true.
For many people on the big screen. Let's see. She also appeared in the Amityville Horror, McQueen, the Mod Squad, Quaxer, Fortune Has a Cousin in the Bronx. So she, she had quite a career over film and TV. Okay, so moving on from that.
Can we talk? We're still doing TV news, right?
Yeah, so hold on here. Guillermo del Toro, he's got a Netflix project. This is from Deadline. Guillermo del Toro horror anthology series 10 After Midnight, ordered by Netflix. He also created Troll Hunt. You've watched Troll Hunters, right?
Yeah. I've actually, and season 3 is coming up. I need to watch.
There you go. So this is a horror anthology series, sort of like, I guess it'll kind of be like Black Mirror. The series is described as a collection of the Oscar-winning filmmaker's personally curated stories, described as both equally sophisticated and horrific. So fresh off the Oscar win, Guillermo del Toro is doing a new TV project. Your thoughts, Jay?
It's definitely sounds interesting. I actually hadn't heard of this until you said it. So that's
it's hot off the presses. Hot off the presses.
It could be good. I'd kind of like to know a little bit more about it. Is it going to be like Are You Afraid of the Dark, or what's it going to be like?
It's live action, and it's so like each episode will be like a standalone story, basically.
Oh,
so
kind
I guess
of like Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, Tales from or Are You Afraid of the Dark, but probably more adult kind of thing.
Might be interesting. We'll see.
So it's a Netflix production. The project extends Del Toro and Netflix's collaboration that began with the animated series Troll Hunters, which returns on May 25th for the third and final season. Okay, so we don't have too many other details, but basically these are like stories he apparently curated, and they're describing them as sophisticated and horrific. It definitely sounds interesting. And you like Shape of Water, right?
It was all right, yeah.
All right. Okay. Any other TV news you want to?
Yeah, there's a really interesting thing I saw, and Kevin Bacon is coming back for it. I guess they're doing a Tremors TV show, which is kind of odd.
No, they're not. That got it. No.
Are you sure about that?
They did a pilot, but it didn't get picked up.
But it still says Tremors Season 1 official trailer.
No, Tremors reboot pilot starring Kevin Bacon not going forward.
Really?
Well, so they had a pilot.
Okay.
What you're looking at is they released a trailer for that. So here's what happened. Sci-Fi ordered a pilot. So they filmed the pilot for a sequel TV show that would have starred Kevin Bacon from the original, right?
Yeah.
They filmed the pilot, which is just like, the first episode, right?
Correct.
They saw the pilot, didn't like the pilot, not ordering a series. So you know how like they got to go from pilot to series?
Yeah.
The series didn't get picked up.
Well, it's probably a good thing. It looked kind of weird anyway. I just wanted to say that.
I did see, the trailer. They released the trailer for the show, but the series. So this is from Deadline again. Tremors reboot pilot starring Kevin Bacon not going forward.
No, that's good.
So
I'm kind of glad to hear that, because I remember seeing the show going, because like the first movie was good, but after that they just got weird. They did another movie recently that looked really, really weird. So I'm just like, ugh. Yeah,
they made like a bunch of those with one of the other supporting characters from the original who's done.
And they had like where they grew legs, they could fly. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was like, dude, what in the world? Oof.
Well, only the first film is a good film, but
I agree.
Hopefully, Kevin Bacon will bounce back somewhere and get a new show somewhere. But it won't be a Tremors show.
Which is a good thing. Let's talk about a few new trailers. There's some good ones.
What are the trailers?
The Predator first. That Predator teaser.
Oh God, that trailer looks horrible. Horrible.
Really? I thought it was kind of cool.
No. Why was it cool?
It's kind of cool to see the Predator again. It looks kind of good how it looks.
Did
And
you like Predators? The
I
last one?
actually haven't seen that movie, but I heard it was good.
Mm,
And they actually did
okay.
release a Death of Superman official trailer now, not just a sneak peek, and that I think is going to be amazing. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's another direct-to-video DC animated movie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And then what looks really
I'm
interesting to
not.
me.
I hold on. Let before we jump ahead.
Mm-hmm.
The Predator, I don't think looks like a good movie. Shane Black is writing and directing it. It
Mm-hmm.
looks like he's fallen off the path here, but um, it it doesn't look like a Predator film, to be honest with you. It looks like something totally different.
Mm.
But why do you think this will be a good movie?
Well, it's just kind of like, it seems like it looked like to me from the like what I saw in the trailer was it was a teaser for starters, so it didn't really give you the full gist of it anyway. But I thought the Predator looked kind of cool, and I just kind of like the concept, and I wouldn't mind seeing another Predator movie, honestly, because I liked 1 and 2.
Uh, I mean, the first one is a classic. Second one, yeah. All right, so we have some more Netflix news. Netflix has confirmed Lost in Space reboot has been picked up for a second season.
Which that surprised me. I was surprised when I heard that. I didn't expect that to happen. Were you
Uh,
surprised by that news? Because I know I was.
not at all. I think
Really?
the first show I think was successful,
Mm.
and I think it got decent, maybe not great reviews, but it got decent reviews. So
I just
I'm not
remember,
too
I
surprised.
just remember when we talked about it, we were both kind of like, "This show's okay, but it's not an amazing,
I didn't
mind-blowing
like the
show."
show. I
Me
didn't like the
neither.
show, but based on just the buzz the first season got and just
Yeah.
the sort of reception it got, I'm not surprised it got renewed so
I
quick.
mean, it was open for a second season, but again, I was kind of like when I saw that, I'm like, "Oh, okay, so that's interesting. We'll see how that goes." I don't know.
So we know that Lost in Space will be coming back for a second season at least,
Mm-hmm.
and Netflix is another way if you want to have a successful TV show. You want to, Netflix is another place
That's true. That's true.
you kind of want to be on right now. If you're Lost in Space, Stranger Things, the Marvel Netflix shows,
Most of their shows all get picked up. It's rare for them to get
yeah,
canceled.
yeah. I think they did that they did cancel that. What was it? The Wachowski show.
A series of unfortunate events.
No, no, that's not the Wachowskis. Sense Eight.
Oh, okay. But that had a good run, didn't it?
I think they canceled it 2 seasons, and I think they're gonna finish it with a movie, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So not really. It didn't have a great run.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the one by the Wachowskis.
Mm-hmm.
Would you give Lost in Space another look for the second season, or are you done with it?
I probably would because I didn't hate it, but it just was like it was one of those shows like it was all right, but man, second season better be something special, or I'm not. I think second season will be its last shot. If it redeems itself, great. If it's just as bad or worse than if it's worse than the first season, I ain't touching it again.
I mean, I like Toby Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked him in Black Sails. Did you ever
Mm-hmm.
watch Black Sails?
No, I haven't.
Like that was a show. That was the pirate show. I really dug that show.
Wasn't it like Blackbeard? Or am I wrong?
Well, Ray Stevens did play Blackbeard later on. It was
Okay.
it was like the characters of Treasure Island, basically.
Okay.
It was like a Treasure Island prequel, basically.
Okay.
Was sort of the gist of it. So yeah. And I think he's a good actor, an underrated actor, but I didn't like the Robinson family in this show at all. So
I just
all
thought it was
right.
interesting that because it was like it's just one of those shows where it was open for second season, but I don't know, they didn't have to do it. Like if this would be the first Marvel show in a while where if they didn't do a second season, I probably wouldn't have cared.
Lost in Space isn't a Marvel show.
I mean, Netflix show. This would be their first Netflix show in a while where if they don't do a second season, I wouldn't.
All right. And you're a big fan of Stranger Things too, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. So any other
Yeah, I
see
do
your
have
movie
one. I
news.
do. I do have one thing that's really kind of interesting. Came out today, and it actually looks pretty impressive. Is that Black Klansman movie? That actually looks kind of interesting.
That's with Keegan Michael Key, right? Or who's in that one?
I think that Jordan Peele directs it or wrote it or
No,
something
it's
like that.
Spike Lee. Spike Lee.
Okay. Well, one of them
Oh
executive
no, it's
producers.
Adam Driver from Star Wars.
Yeah, he's in it. They've got Topher Grace as the bad guy. And I think Jordan Peele had something to do with it. Jordan Peele or one of them had something to do with it. It was one
No,
of
Spike Lee. Spike Lee. I don't think Jordan Peele had anything to do with this movie.
I could have sworn I saw in the trailer he had something to do with it. Let me look.
Oh, he produced. Oh, serves as producer along with Jordan Peele, Jason Blum. He produced it.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay.
Yeah, it
Why
looks
do you
like an
think this
interesting.
movie? Why do you think this movie looks interesting?
It's just a really interesting, a really cool story where it's like it's definitely gonna have race stuff going on with it, but it's also like a story where this African American cop is pretty much trying to help bring down, the KKK, and the way
Right.
he's doing it is really clever and original, and
It was
yeah,
a selection at the Cannes Film Festival, so it
yeah,
has.
I didn't know much about it at first, but after watching the trailer, I'm actually kind of pumped from like this. I think is
I
actually a
haven't even
fun
watched
movie.
this. I haven't even watched this trailer yet, but
Yeah, that was really
Spike
cool,
Lee's been around a while. I mean,
and
he's.
he usually does good stuff. I have to say. I mean, he's done some
I
good.
don't know. The Old Boy remake was terrible,
I
but
didn't see that, but I liked Bamboozled and Four Little Girls was amazing.
what was the heist movie he did with Denzel Washington? That
Uh,
was really good.
I don't know.
Um, Inside Man. That's a bit. It's kind of an older one. That was a good
Mm-hmm.
movie. Spike Lee directed that. Denzel Washington and Clive Owen,
Like I
Jodie
said, Four Little
Foster.
Girls was amazing. That documentary he did was unbelievable.
When did he do that?
Oh, that was an older one too, but it was an amazing story. Like in
Okay,
the
that one's from 1997. That's a bit of
yeah
an old one.
yeah, but it's an amazing
Bamboozled
documentary.
Bamboozled came out a long time ago
Yeah,
too.
2000. Yeah,
Okay, all right. So Black Klansman is going to be one of
yeah.
Jay's biggest movies of the year. Okay, so I think that about does it for us today. We'll be back soon, and I think we'll be talking about Deadpool 2.
Yep,
We'll be
absolutely.
we'll be talking about Solo, a Star Wars story. I think we should probably do spoiler casts for each of those films, don't you think? Or
I agree.
we'll do some more in-depth reviews once we see both those films. I'm going to be seeing Solo a week from today. Will you be seeing the film early? Do you know?
I hope to. I haven't seen anything for it yet, but I hope to on the 21st
Okay.
or
And
something
what
like
about
that.
Deadpool 2?
I already saw that.
Oh, you okay? Okay. Also, you can go to 411mania.com, check out my where you can check out all my reviews and upcoming reviews. I'll be having a Black Panther Blu-ray review coming up this week, and also Deadpool
Mine's
2.
already up actually. My Black Panther Blu-ray went up yesterday.
All right. So, and my Deadpool 2 review will be going up later this week, and Solo a Star Wars story next week. And Jay, where can people find you online?
You can find my reviews. I just got screeners for the last 2 episodes for the season for Roseanne, so you can see that. Netflix and Pill just went up today, so that one's up now. And reviews for Siren, there'll be another episode of that going up probably on Wednesday.
Did Siren get renewed?
I don't know if it's been announced yet, but it hasn't been canceled either, so we'll have to see with that one. But what did get canceled, you know what I was really bummed about? I forgot. Beyond got canceled. They canceled that show after 2 seasons, so that show's gone, which did kind of hurt because I like that show a lot. Yeah, so Beyond did get canceled by Freeform.
Okay.
I saw that, but there'll be Siren, there'll be that. Hopefully there'll be more Quantico, but we'll see. And
There won't be more Quantico.
No, I mean reviews of the episodes. And yeah, like just and again, as I always say, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, things like that. Like, share us, so you get told when we're doing our episodes again. Right now, they're usually on Mondays, and in the next coming weeks, and it's going to be before we know it, we will be at E3 and at San Diego. So we'll be at both those events in the near future.
Yeah, con season is sneaking up on us, and we'll be at both those conventions. All right. And one more thing. There's going to be I'm going to be doing the press junket for Cloak and Dagger.
Nice.
Marvel was nice enough to invite me out to that. That'll be this month. So, and well, I'm sure we'll be talking about Cloak and Dagger more as it comes out.
Speaking of Cloak and Dagger, I do have on my YouTube, Movie Secret 23, I do have interviews with the two main characters, and Jeff Loeb, and the director of the pilot. So check those out too, and view them, share them with your friends, things like that. My Jeff Loeb and director need a bit more love, but definitely people are doing a great job checking out the ones with the two main characters.
And also,
in the coming weeks, we should have reviews of those too, because I know I got screeners for the first few episodes.
And also check us out on Twitter. Check us out on YouTube, on Facebook. We are Hollywood Purgatory. We are the podcast where the entertainment industry comes to get judged. I am Jeffrey Harris. He is Jay Snook. And I want to say go Astros and have a great summer, everybody. See you soon.
Adios.